is not a Jane use. And something I've tried on this channel, just because I want to, is I talk about things that kind of bug me. And today I thought I'd tell Tomoko about the rape in Stanford, at Stanford University, which, it's been in the news in America recently, and it's really bugging me. She doesn't know the story, right? So I thought I would tell you. I believe he was 19 years old or 20 years old. A 19 or 20-year-old man. Well, let's start with the victim, okay? There was a young woman. I don't really know the details about her, but she got drunk. She passed out. Kizetsu? She passed out behind a dumpster. Dumpster are those big, すごい大きいゴミ箱。なんていうの？Dumpster なんだあれ？大きいゴミの。すっごい大きいやつ。そうなんていうの？Dumpster. Japanese is dumpster. 大型ゴミ。大型ゴミ容器。大型ゴミ容器. So a container, a big container. Okay. So anyway, this guy, Brock, I forgot his name. Brock Allen, I believe. Brock Allen Turner raped her. And she woke up in the hospital. Now she was drunk, but that doesn't mean you can rape somebody, right? So she woke up in the hospital, and she, of course, she thought he would confess because it was very clear what had happened to her. She thought he would confess, but in fact he got a lawyer. He got a very expensive lawyer, and he fought it. He pleaded not guilty. Muzai, muzai da. Yatte yo. He said I didn't do it, and long story short, they had a long, dragged out trial. And this happened, I think the actual rape was January 17th. January? Yeah, so in 2015. And they found him guilty. He did apologize. He said, I didn't want to do it this way. I didn't want to fight it this way. But, my dad convinced me and the lawyers said I should do this. And which I kind of understand, not wanting to confess to something. He was a swimmer at Stanford University. Do you know Stanford? Stanford is yeah, very, very high level university. And I'm assuming he was there on a scholarship or something, but he was a high level swimmer. He was a swimmer, whatever. And I've heard him called a frat boy, which means he belonged to one of those fraternities. All the guys, support each other. And they're kind of all assholes too. Sometimes you put a bunch of guys together, they become assholes. But here's the thing: he could have gotten up to 14 years. 14 years. That would be his punishment. What's it? His K? K is his punishment. But the judge decided, and the prosecution, kenji no wa, the prosecution asked for 6 years. 6 years. But the judge, saibanchou, the judge gave him 6 months. 6ヶ月. Yes. So the internet is crazy angry right now at the judge, at the father. The father wrote this stupid letter saying, my son has trouble sleeping and he can't eat his favorite food and he's not a happy-go-lucky, yoki na hito janai kana. He used to be such a happy guy, now he's not happy. And it's just kind of amazing to me that this would happen. And yeah, so what do you think? Usually rape you get a much harsher sentence, right? And rape in the military, I know for a fact, well, from what I've read, if you rape someone in the military, you get a much harsher sentence. But this is, when it comes to rape, I guess, out in society like this, it really depends on the judge and the case and a lot of other factors, I guess. I mean, who knows? I don't know how a rapist can get only 6 months, which is just amazing to me. And of course, I guess a lot of people have said, I'm sure you've read a lot of opinions about this already, but it's crazy. I think when other countries see shit like this is what scares me. Japan sees things like this, right? And when there's a rape in Okinawa, right? That happens once in a while, unfortunately. Of course, they're not going to judge our system because they're going to focus on things like this, like you get off easy, right, in America. But to be honest, what do you get in Japan for rape? Do you know? I don't even know. I have a feeling it's pretty light. It's not. I think usually in America it's worse. I think the military is really harsh. Back in 1996, there was a rape in Okinawa, a 12-year-old girl, and I think 3 guys were raped, and they were eventually handed over to the Japanese authorities. And I think they got 6 years. But if they had been judged and found guilty under a military tribunal or the court system there, from what I remember reading, it would have been much worse. So the military is much worse usually on military. But when it comes to, I guess, civilians, I guess you would call them, it's not that bad. And this is just amazing to me, right? So I want to teach you one expression, which is the the punishment was too light.
あ
And we would say what 刑が甘すぎる
刑が甘すぎる
K refers to the K is the punishment, right? And amai is actually sweet, right?
そうそうそう
But in this case, literally sweet, but in this case it just means too soft.
ライトってこと
You
ね
know, 刑が甘すぎる, so it was too light. They
であ
gave
と
him a
軽すぎるでもいい
karusugiru.
軽いずライト
Karu is light too, so
軽すぎる
so yeah. I mean, it's an amazingly shocking, appalling story. This is just I think embarrassing as an American when I see things like that. Of course, it isn't being focused on in Japan yet, but I'm sure the Japanese media will pick it up soon. But they don't generally make fun of sad stories like this, saying, "Oh, isn't America a terrible place to live?" But when Hattori-kun,
服部君
when Hattori-kun was killed, or was that over 20 years ago, like 22 years ago, I think, right? Do you remember when it was? So Hattori-kun was shot in Louisiana. When that happened, of course, the Japanese media was really, really critical of the American system and how can people live with guns and their animals and things like that. They were very, very critical. But when you see things like this, when we let someone get away with 6 months, I tend to agree. Anyway, there's not much really you could say about this. Of course, if you have an opinion, you want to say something, or you'd like to disagree with anything, I've said, not with me, don't disagree with my face. Disagree with the words that are coming out of my mouth. I welcome you to do that and leave it in the comments, all right? Anyway, thanks for watching. Today's Japanese expression is 刑が甘すぎる or 刑が軽すぎる.
そうだね
Alright? Okay, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. He went away. We lost him. Ah, coming back? 死んじゃったね。